Nestled in the high plains of western Nebraska, along the historic Lincoln Highway, Sutherland is an unassuming town of 1,200 that blends agricultural traditions with modern industry. Main Street is a mix of practical needs and community charm.
Nebraska nice. Just a good spot. Everybody's really friendly, good people. A lot of hard workers around here too, so you get some real honest people.
Musician Rascal Martinez was born and raised in Sutherland. With cattle, crops, an ethanol plant, and a power station driving the local economy, this might seem an unlikely place to forge a music career.
For the last 10 years, I've been really busy performing all over. I've just been a full-time musician. I play probably over 150 senior center shows like a year. I've been doing that for like 10 years. Private events, a lot of corporate events, you know, backyard party type stuff. I do a lot of weddings. I was down in Tennessee for a long time, just back and forth writing and doing shows. California, New York, and Chicago. I almost moved to Tennessee, but I was gone so much traveling all over. I was like, why would I live here if I'm not gonna be here? So I moved back to Sutherland.
And that's when he found a new way to bring the music world to his tiny pocket of Nebraska.
I was just looking kind of for an office space. And then I saw this place was for sale. So it was built in 1910. It was an old bank, Farmers Bank back in the day. I think it closed like somewhere in the 70s. And it was vacant for a couple of years.
The character of the building is largely preserved, from its original tin ceilings to the worn wooden floors that still bear the impressions of customers and tellers from more than a century ago.
I came in here and right away I was like, yikes, I gotta have the place. This is just like, this is too good. You keep on drinking. I've always wanted to make my own studio, have a place to rehearse or have bands come in. I don't think people think they can do it in a small town. But with social media and all the things that we have now, just right at our fingertips, I mean, I think anything's possible with that. We record all the shows live and then I'm just recording everything so that I can mix it all down and master it later. It's 1910, so this is not a brand new $1 million building that, you can't hear any noise. You're gonna hear some stuff for sure, but I think that just gives it, it's warm though.
He calls it Stolen Vault Records.
We do a lot of bigger shows, but then there is something about a small audience of 20, 30 people where people are coming to listen to, what you have to say, and it's just a different thing because you can be in the room. I don't even know ya. I don't even know your name. I don't even know ya anymore. We're bringing in a lot of bands from all over. Got some Colorado bands, a lot of Nebraska bands coming in, a lot of solo artists. If you're coming from Denver and you got to play a show in Omaha, we're right smack in the middle. You could do another show, just that small, intimate show, and just like you're right there, one-on-one, like with the artist. And no one to turn to anymore.
I don't care if it's an A-list celebrity or a singer-songwriter just starting out doing their own things. This is an incredible way to experience their music.
I love his passion and what he wants to do with this area. And he wants to basically bring more musicians and more bigger musicians out here.
He's putting us on the map for those big city musicians to come here and not only to perform, but to record. It is just amazing what this little corner of Sutherland, Nebraska is becoming.
All right, everybody feeling all right? All right.
In a world world where success often means leaving small towns behind, Martinez is proving that sometimes the best path forward is the road that leads back home.
And now I'm sitting in San Quentin, and my bones are on the way.
I've always loved Sutherland. It's my home for sure. Just to be on the spot where I grew up and bringing people to a town they probably never even heard of is just, why wouldn't we do that, you know?
All right, here we go.
I like my life here, and I like, raising a family here, and I can still travel and do everything I need to do, but I don't really need to be in the big city to do that.
I haven't seen her in a while, no. I cannot tell you a lie.
I've been an entrepreneur for a long, long time, and I just find my own way of doing things, and then I believe in what I'm doing, and I think that's a huge part.
I haven't seen her in a while. I cannot tell you a lie.
Thank you.